Hi Zach, it's approved that I think boundary works, so I disabled checkout remote entry point. So and built application and started on port 3000 without checkout remote entries. So and if we open checkout page, under the hood it's found that we are using checkout path name. It starts loading remote entry, and after that remote role became available for importing. So it works like it should. And moreover, if we reload page, it again shows checkout remote page, but with some warnings. It warnings about server-side rendering problem, that server version mismatch client version, because that if we take source code, we can see that under the hood nextjs returns error page, but I catch this situation and see that this road belongs to federated application and override error page by federated page. So if we take a look on dev, yarn dev, so the same error will be shown a little bit worse than before, than in prod environment. So in dev mode, yeah, we will see this terrible hydration problem error, that server code and client code mismatched, and it must be fixed somehow on server side, but I think it's not a big deal right now, and it can be done in another PR, but now it's okay to use like it is. So, and under the hood it's look like it's where is I want to show that I right now add remote entries in slightly different manner. So I want to provide external configuration, something like so in 3000 home nextjs config, something like that, extra options, pages, roads, I don't know, I will think about better naming for these things. So these remotes attached for dynamic import, something like that, but this thing allows us to lazy load remotes according to provided roles, but it's just MVP right now, and I think in future we can do it in better manner, in better way and more convenient than this. But anyway, even this path might be, how I said before, generated on server side. But right now this mapping is used for dynamic importing. So this lists of roads allows us, if it matched, start lazy loading remote entries, and it's a good thing. So it was done according to my last refactoring. So I created a class combined pages, which provides just one method, get page list, from local and remote pages, and the main important thing here is that we have to sort pages in specific manner according to dynamic Next.js routes. And if we provide in correct order, so route matcher inside Next.js might incorrectly show pages. So the main purpose of combined pages class is combine local and remote pages. Remote pages did in some very interesting manner also. Again, it just contains remotes, lazy remotes, and for this I again create another class remote container. I'll show you a little bit later, but before, when remote page class receives these routes, it in sync manner may register these pages for these routes. Anyway, you may load remote page map to override already existed routes by what exactly provides remote host, federated host. Here we have two strategies. So if we want lazy load for some routes remote entries, so we have to provide it before we can request this entry point. And it first path. I think to do something like home star or another things logic, but I still not sure how it can be done better. But anyway, for testing purposes, right now it works perfectly, which helps me to resolve lazy loading. What else here in remote pages? So I able to convert any route to some model. So model according to federated page. So I need to receive from Webpack remote container some model. So I able to call from remote page map, convert current page to model path, and after that receive remote model and inject it in current host application. Check has route to remote. So again, it's helper function which allows me to, according to route, receive remote container. Also I have here get page list with some cache, and I have here get route info. So here we have exports component and some styles key. It's Next.js internals. So I just Webpack model convert to route info for Next.js. And the last thing is remote container. It just has two methods. No, just one method. I decided to use singleton pattern here. So if we provide remote like a string or like a global and URL, we just create this remote container, and if we have amazing crazy singleton. Okay. Check instances. So it will be a singleton. Anyway, it has what logic it able to get remote container from webpack. Also, it have helper method get module, and because of this, remote container is belong to nextjs and contains some specific logic how to retrieve from that container some additional information. In our case, it for example page map. In future versions it might be some css styles or something else which we decide to transfer from a remote application. Even it might be aptS6, for example, because even I didn't check yet, but I think we will be able to replace aptS6 from remote application in the host application. It will be a great feature because, for example, if you for example, we have 20 applications and one of them has old styles which are imported globally in aptS6, and for providing a good user experience, not good users, for providing correct styling on pages. Of course, with old undesigned library, we have to use old styles. Otherwise, we may have strange things on pages when elements will be shifted, lifted, stretched, or any boom might happen with other version of styles. So it also might be fixed in future. So remote container loads information from nextjs remotes, and I'll add some description to this class. After that, this remote containers is used by remote pages. So it's logic of this class to combine two strategies how to use remote entries. So of course it should provide some information from entry about its pages, because here we have so remote entries, it's a collection of remote routes from different applications. And after that I have to have another abstraction layer which allow me to distinguish between local pages and remote pages, so and sort it in good manner, and I'm doing this in purpose that nextjs correctly internally parses route parameters like queries or dynamic properties, etc. So, and this get page list injected to internal page loader class, which is used in nextjs, but here I just provide my version of get page list. So here I expose nextjs get page list original method and substitute get page list inside nextjs to use my version of get page list logic, which extended by federated pages. So, and other stuff, it was done in MF loaders when I create so I received next page loader, and what happened next? nothing else. For page loader, for Next.js page loader, all magic happen here, but I'm unable to use the same way for next router and next route loader, so I do it in runtime. For we are using wrap method when entry point in router loader, and also I did the same trick with load router method inside router loader. So again, I completely overwrite logic, remember the previous version, the original version of method binding to that class, that scope, class scope, for reusing internal variables, methods, etc. So, and everything what we need to do, so the main magic happened in page loader, because get page leads method is asynchronous, and before we get page list, or if we try, for example, call method when entry point, or call method when entry point, or load route, both of these methods are async, like get page list method is also async. So all these methods asynchronous, and I am able to await while Next.js continues rendering the page. So we can see it in the client index.tsx. So if I, for example, try to find up tsx when is happening hydrate operation, so here we see that before starting rendering application, it awaits until it received some module for rendering, for hydration, and providing it to React for hydration. So before this, I wrap this method, and we can inject any logic before starting even passing something to React. And how we know up tsx is entry point for Next.js application, so before any code we are able to inject any logic. So and not inject, asynchronously inject any logic and wait while it will be ready. And what else? Again, we see here entry point, and in create router we know also we have page loader. It's already wrapped, so the main method get page list asynchronous method which already wrapped there. And besides when entry point, we again something about route, get route info, where it was used. Maybe it used somewhere deeper, I don't remember exactly where, but let me check. Maybe here we see route info, yep. We see cached apt and cache component, where you come to us, page entry point component, from where again, anyway, router loader when used when entry point. Again, when entry point is wrapped by our plugin, so we're able to inject whatever we want to clients to Next.js client side. So my next steps will be to polish, to remove old router. I almost finished all testing what I refactored, and the next main thing I want to remove old logics from menus. So how you may notice that our left side is not working right now, but it will, because I try to play with it. So before it looks quite strange. The next version with current plugin, it's slightly how to say it, compact, became more compact and simple, and even more according to this refactoring, I want to add event emitter 3 to remote pages. So, and it will provide us a hook, something like use mf. Again, I need to think how to better to name it. So use mf remote, maybe this name, with some callback like remote, and we able to receive here something like that. So remote entry get model, so we will be able to do something like this, and after that so for switching components we be able to do something like this. Function component here and there, return div menu component, something like that, menu component. So we receive something like this, and if, for example, menu component doesn't equal component, so in this case we able to set a new component. So in this way this code, it will be slightly easier for using, for importing something widgets when use mf remote on change. I don't know. Anyway, I need to think about the better naming for this hook, but I feel it will be really easier, because right now I have to use effects, some hooks on router change on some use effects. It's try to track router path. So all this stuff with get menu fm component, all these, I don't know, 30 lines, I think at the end might be, so all that stuff might be compacted to 10 lines maximum. But here I think we will use effect under the hood for, or just provide a new function every time. Anyway, no any use effects will be used here, because after 6 change not so rarely, so it's quite easy to resubscribe every time on row change, and it's not a big deal, I think. But it might be improved in future. But anyway, compacting this terrible stuff inside plugin logic, inside package, it worth it, definitely worth it. So add description, check everything, repair menu, and provide new hooks. I'll try to finish it today, maximum tomorrow, and I hope that's all. Let me check. Add menu from remote. Yep, I wanted to write better hooks, but customization logic created. Yep. First page load. I'll check this also, because page 404, I don't know how to deal without server side changing these properties. Maybe we can move this issue to move this problem to another issue. Dynamically inject remote pages by prefix names. It's already done internally. And try to fix 404 page on server side. Yep, it will be again another problem. So with how to remove env variables, still it's under development, and we need to figure out before the publishing the package. Throw error, it today was how I think was done by Ran Shamai. He's from Microsoft. Yep, it's we can do that here. We can put it here. Throw error console. Yep. And add timestamps to remote entries. Sometimes in dev mode I receive that some chunks is unable to load. I think it should be done somehow in inject script. So we have problems that in the inject script do not add timestamps, and sometimes in dev mode we received cached or old version of chunks or something like this. But again, maybe Ran Shamai be able to resolve it too. It will be amazing. So that's all for now, and I will go to resolve my problems. So it's all my news for today. Thank you.